Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 14 Plus and compare it against the iPhone 14 and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, the thing I would definitely tell you about both of these devices, they're both very good. You can't really go wrong with either one. If you can swing up to something like an iPhone 15, that might be a bigger option. That might be a better iPhone for a vast majority of people. But I still think both the iPhone 14s are very, very good. And I would highly recommend for you to pick them up if you really want to. So links will be down in the description for either one of these. If you want to pick them up, you can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, the big thing you have to keep in mind here, for number one, the iPhone 14 Plus, even in the used market, in the brand new market, it is going to be a more expensive iPhone than the iPhone 14. And in some ways, you're only getting a bigger iPhone for a lot of features. So just kind of keep that in mind. So if that is a big deal to you, then you can always swing down to the iPhone 14 and save some money. But on the exterior, the iPhone 14 on the front has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And it's a pretty good looking panel. It's still 60 Hz on both these, but it's a good looking display. You're getting a little tiny bit of bezel around it, but you're getting the notch, which is kind of the more annoying thing. But beyond that, I think you're getting a very, very good device on this thing. It's a very good looking panel. And even though it's 60 Hz, it's still a very smooth running 60 Hz panel. And I do think it's a very good display when it comes down to it. So this is a very good display. The iPhone 14 Plus's display is bigger, so you're getting a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this is a slightly bigger panel. It's high resolution a little bit. It's 1200 nits of brightness on both, so not the craziest highest, but still good enough. And you're still getting very good panels on both. The only thing to kind of keep in mind here is that the iPhone 14 Plus is a significantly bigger phone. So if that is something that is kind of concerning to you, then that might be a big issue. But regardless, they're both very good phones. But again, the 14 Plus is significantly bigger. So keep that in mind. I would hate for you to go and buy that phone sight unseen and then go and feel like you're able to rock it even if you can't. It's a very, very big phone on that device. They're both flat-sided, which looks very good. I love having a flat-sided phone. It looks and feels very good from that perspective. On the bottom, you're getting a Lightning port on both these phones, which is very nice. So I do like having Lightning on both these devices. It means a lot to me. It's a very, very cool thing. And this in and of itself is another awesome thing going on for this particular device as well. Now, on the back side, this is another interesting thing. So you're getting a dual camera setup in the top left corner. So you can just go ahead and, rock that dual camera setup. It's a wide and ultra wide camera. You're getting a full-on glass back, like I mentioned. You're getting a MagSafe capability. So you're able to go and just wirelessly charge this thing via MagSafe. And you can use all those MagSafe accessories too, which is really cool as well. So IP certification, lots of other stuff that's overlapping between both. But realistically speaking, if you can do it on one device, you can do it on the other. So that's the big thing to keep in mind. Really, it just comes down to the sizing of both of these. So that's kind of the big thing and the bigger difference, I would say, on the outside. Now, the price strategy that Apple's kind of given us for these particular devices is also very interesting. So right now in the brand new market, the iPhone 14 is $699. The iPhone 14 Plus is $799. Now, the problem with that price in the brand new market is that it is just sitting so close to the iPhone 15 that it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to go and buy either one of these phones when you can just go and buy an iPhone 15 at that point. So you are much better off buying something like the iPhone 15 rather than buying something like, the iPhone 14 or 14 Plus. But that's just kind of how I feel about these prices in the brand new market. In the used market, it is a little bit of a different story because they're significantly cheaper. You can probably buy the iPhone 14 Plus for $550, the iPhone 14 Pro for about $490. So they are significantly cheaper in the used market. Camera-wise, this is another interesting thing. They're both almost identically the same type of camera. So you're both getting the wide and ultra wide camera on both, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera as well. And you aren't really missing out on really anything if you're getting one device over the other one. They're both very similar. And this is something that's very good between both. You can just go and buy whichever phone you want to. And that is actually something that's really nice between both these devices. So like I said, personally for me, if I'm going through and if I'm picking up a camera, I definitely want it to have as good of a camera as possible. And both these phones will be giving you a very solid camera from that particular perspective, which I actually like a lot. But beyond that, is there one that's way better? Not really. I will say from pretty much every single device out there, you're going to be getting very, very good camera capability between both of these, which again is very nice. So inside of social media applications, inside of everything across the board, you're going to be getting a very good type of experience, which again is something that I actually like a lot. Now, if you're trying to go through and if you're trying to get the best camera of all time, it may be a little bit of a different story between both, because you might be getting a better experience inside of particular devices, maybe like an iPhone 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max, those types of cameras. But still, something like the iPhone 14 is still very good in the 14 Pro, and they both can do 4K at 60 on the front and the back, which is also very, very nice. So from that particular perspective, that's another really cool thing going on in this particular side. Now, on top of that, software-wise, once again, basically the same type of software. So both these devices aren't really going to be missing out on anything from a software perspective. So this right there is another really cool big thing to keep in mind here as well, because no matter which device you're going to be getting a very good experience between both from a software perspective. So no matter how long either one of these phones are going to last, they're both going to be lasting around the same time, which is a really nice thing. So that right there is another big thing to keep in mind. Performance, exactly the same thing as well. So you're getting the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now, like I said, this is pretty much the exact same type of thing you're going to be getting on both these devices. So this right there is like another big thing to keep in mind. Like if you're going to go through and get some sort of phone performing, I mean, this is going to be a very good performing device on both. The cool thing here is that with both the iPhone 15, both the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, this is going to be a very, very good performing device. Really, anything you're going to throw at it, it's going to be able to handle it. Big applications like Genshin Impact, or if you're video editing, or if you're doing anything like that, you're going to be getting a very solid experience on both these phones, which is very good. Like I said, whatever you do on one, you're going to do the exact same thing on the other. So that's just right there, just the epitome of it all. Then when you're getting the 14, the 14 Plus, whichever model you're going to get, it's going to be the same type of performance, which these phones, luckily for us, are still very good performing devices at the end of the day. So that right there kind of covers it up there as well. Now, another thing, and the final thing, is the battery life. This is probably the biggest asset going up to the iPhone 14 Plus from the iPhone 14. The iPhone 14 is going to be giving you a 3,279 mAh battery. The iPhone 14 Plus is going to be giving you a 4,323 mAh battery. And this right there is another very big thing to keep in mind. You are going to be getting a significantly better, battery life on the iPhone 14 Plus than on the iPhone 14. The 14 is still going to be pretty much okay, like it's still going to be good. I'm sure it's going to be fine for a lot of people, but I'm telling you that 14 Plus is just a completely different story. That is a very good performing device. That's a very good, performing battery life on that device. And that's a very cool thing that I love about that particular phone. So personally for me, once again, if I'm buying a phone, I definitely do like having that battery life on that iPhone 14 Plus. It is by far one of my favorite things going on for that particular device as well. So at the end of the day, what I will definitely tell you, the iPhone 14 Plus is by far, in the iPhone 14, they're very, very good iPhones. I like both these iPhones a lot. And I do think if I'm in the market, I'm definitely going to go ahead and buy, either one of these. If I had to pick up one though, it probably would be the iPhone 14. And the reason for that is because the iPhone 14 is just more comfortable for me. That's the phone that I can just pick up, I can use, and I don't really have to worry about too many things. Like I can have a perfectly good type of experience from that type of device. On the other side, with the iPhone 14 Plus, if I was more comfortable holding and handling a bigger phone, then by all means I would use a phone like that. I would feel comfortable using a phone like that. But I think from a comfortability standpoint, I think the 14 is very good for me. And that's probably the device I would recommend myself to own rather than buying something like the iPhone 14 Plus. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.